Hello, I'm Caz, and I've been a passionate photographer for longer than I care to admit. Since the beginning of 2008, I decided to do a personal project where I take at least one photograph every day. I kind of forgot to stop, and I'm approaching day 2100. During that time, I've been doing various different side projects, the craziest of which is called Face Down Tuesday. There's a Flickr group for this thing, why not? This was one of my first attempts in a local park, nobody about, during a frosty morning. Then I decided to go to Newcastle to visit friends, and I took my trusty Disney lightsaber with me, as you do. And I thought, well, in front of the blinking bridge is a good venue for another face-down shot. No Geordies about, I can't imagine why. Then I went to Florida with some geek friends. The very last day we were there was a Tuesday. How convenient. Our villa had a pool, so I decided to set this shot up. It did mean I went home with wet clothes in my case, but I didn't really care too much. I've been back at the BBC to do some engineering contracting for a few years. My old bosses know me very well and I'm completely barking, and one of them even lent me his toolkit here as a prop for this picture in the new studio N9. Last summer I was at the BBC's new premises at New Broadcasting House doing some acceptance work on the new equipment. It was a bit of a building site and we were forced to wear personal protective equipment such as the high-vis jacket and the steel toe caps. The hard hat wasn't mine, I did borrow that one. During the summer, the lady that runs the Face Down Tuesday group came to visit London. She's from Holland originally, and she came for a week and she said, who would like to meet me on a Tuesday for some face down action? I was the only person that turned up with her. I'd also been, during the period, searching for these Wenlock statues that were to do with the Olympics, and we had a great fun and discussed how much a crazy global phenomenon Face Down Tuesday has become. Well, talking of the Olympics, I managed to get a ticket for that from that terrible website for the athletics, and hey presto, it was a Tuesday, so I thought, well, I've got to find a suitable venue to do my face down shot. I found a quiet corner, nobody around, and thankfully I didn't get arrested or thrown out. I spent most of September last year in Japan on a fabulous holiday. All of the Tuesdays I was abroad, so I really had to find a particular venue for my Japanese shot, and I've flavoured it with a little bit of local props as well here. Well, this year I decided to rack down a bit, and I haven't done a Face Down Tuesday once a month as I had previously, but just when the opportunity arises. So I went for a winter walk and tripped over and got a face full of snow, and there we are, the Winter Starfish edition. Back at the BBC during March there, this time at the political unit in Millbank. And this is me with my accomplice Monica fooling around behind the back projection system. Thankfully the local politicos weren't around, but it could have been a bit awkward. And then I went back to Television Centre for a couple of weeks after virtually everybody else had gone. We needed to be there for to man a particular part of the building. But it was great for Face Down Tuesday. I ran around like a loony taking as many shots as possible, and nobody was around to ask me what the hell's going on. This is the former sports department on the 5th floor. They'd moved out and gone to Manchester some time before, and it was, I thought, well, I'll wheel myself up there with a few packing crates just to sort of, see what the place is like. Amazing what you can find wandering the corridors of Telecentre. Now, being a good engineer, I knew that it wasn't a good idea to plug these in, because those bulb holders would have been live and there was nothing to stop me electrocuting myself. That's not what happened here, I must say, but the green tea bar. One of the places I used to love when I worked at Television Centre a lot. I bought so many cups of tea at the place, but sadly it's not served a cuppa for many, many months. And the counter here, just, having a reminisce about all the cups of tea I've drunk in the past there. Myself and another colleague did a lot of urbex during our lunch hours, and we'd go around and poke in places that we'd never seen before. We found the Scenic Artist Workshop here, where they used to paint the backing cyclorama cloths, complete with a few props, which was rather good. Now these escalators go from what used to be old main reception down to the old VT in the basement, but I was rather pleased that they weren't working and haven't done since the late 80s, because I would have been tipped on my head and it wouldn't have been a great shot. The Blue Peter Garden. A sad shadow of its former self. Most of it's been relocated to Manchester along with the rest of production. But this is me smelling the grass one fresh spring morning. And finally, when you think to yourself, why does she do it? Well, it's a bit of fun, and why the hell not really? Why Tuesday? I don't know, ask Chantal. Any other day, just be planking.